Yeah, just I had discussions with Mark and Rogers ownership, and again, this is really important to me. I can't stress enough that how well I was treated, how well I have been treated. Dignity, class, respect. Mark was outstanding. Obviously, there's a lot of people at Rogers I dealt with at the ownership level that were outstanding. This decision is solely mine. Mark gave me every opportunity to return. He was sincere in wanting me back, and I sincerely appreciate that as well. And I had great discussions with him and great dialogue. And I could say the same thing for ownership. And that obviously starts with Edward Rogers. Was tremendous. I can't say enough from that standpoint, and that made it harder. That made it harder to make this decision. Again, I've been treated so well across the board in all my years here, and even with Mark coming in as well. I can't speak highly enough from that level. I just felt like, again, over these discussions, basically yesterday late afternoon, I had to make a final decision that I just didn't feel like this was the right fit for me going forward. And not an easy one. Obviously, everyone knows how I feel about the organization, the city, the country. It's hard. It's hard to leave the staff. But I just felt this was the right thing for me at this time.
Can you explain what the right fit means?
You know what? I just think it's, in fairness, I think I know the Rogers press release talked about the length of the contract, and I think that goes with that. I don't think anyone. I think everyone understands it wasn't about Rogers and Mark were more than generous. Extremely generous. And again, I can't personally say thank you enough to all of them. I don't know that it's fair to really get into any specifics. Out of respect to Rogers, to Mark, to the Blue Jays, to the organization. The one thing I can say is that. One, I think the organization is in great hands. If you look at Mark's career and everything that's gone on, and then you look at you add that to the support that Rogers has given to the team, especially over the years as we've continued to build, and now you get the support from all of Canada and the fan base. I meant what I said at the press conference on Monday. I do feel baseball is back on the map in Canada and Toronto, and I think this team's positioned exceptionally well, and I think it's just going to continue to get better. It's going to improve. So I'm always going to be a Blue Jays fan at heart. My kids are always going to be Blue Jays fans at heart, and I'm going to wish the team the best and be pulling for them. And I think they're going to have a great plan in the off season, and I think they're going to go out and win the American League East next year. I don't think it's fair to get in. I know there's going to be a ton of speculation. The one thing I would say is that, again, like I've always said this, I've always respected the chain of command and respected the way our organization should run and need to run to make them efficient organizations. But at the same time, like anything else, your work environment and things like that, that's. Those are all things that can get speculated about and so on. But to talk about what went on specifically, I just think those things are private overall. But look, I think everyone's aware that it was Mark's desire and every intention for me to stay on. I don't want to speak for him, but he certainly expressed that to me repeatedly, and I'm extremely grateful for that. It was Rogers' Communications' desire for me to stay on, and it was every intention to get that to happen, and it was mine as well. I had every intention and desire to stay on as well. But ultimately, I had a decision to make. And again, and that's why I own this decision. This is my responsibility, and it falls on me. I can't, if anything, this is, I can't say enough about both Mark and Rogers, the way they handled this process and the respect and the time and everything that they gave to me and they afforded to me. So, it's tough because you know me. I'm a pretty private guy, and I just don't think that specifics and things like that need to be discussed. And but I think the important thing to remember is I'm very grateful for everything I've had here. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and again, I'm extremely excited and optimistic about where the organization is going. And again, I can't stress enough that it's in tremendous hands, and I think it's just going to continue to make great strides. I'm going to continue to be a fan of the team and continue to cheer for them. And again, I'm excited for where they're headed. I think they're in a great position, and I think Mark and the staff and everybody here and Gibby, obviously, I think they're just going to take it to the next level and keep growing this thing. Unequivocally, I have no job lined up. I don't have anything like that at all. My focus was on the Toronto Blue Jays, and it will be really through Saturday, at least. What happens after that, I have no idea. I've obviously my phone completely exploded today when the news broke, and I've had to talk to staff and so on. But next steps, things like that, I have plenty of time for that, and that wasn't even on my radar. My focus this past week was on this, and for the organization and for everybody, I think this needed to get resolved. And again, Mark, Rogers, everyone did everything they could. And I say that in the utmost respectful way, and I felt, I owed it to everybody else too that we needed to get this resolved.